In the past, Steamboat Geyser in Yellowstone National Park regularly shot water more than 300 feet into the air. However, the feature hasn't erupted in almost a year, and scientists aren't sure when it will erupt again.
Yellowstone, a land where boiling geysers pierce the morning mist and bison roam across steaming meadows. Beneath its breathtaking scenery lies one of the most formidable forces on the planet, the Yellowstone supervolcano. This immense volcanic system, hidden beneath the pine forests and crystalline lakes of America's first national park, is at once a marvel of natural beauty and a source of profound unease for scientists and citizens alike. Each year, millions of visitors gaze in wonder at Old Faithful, unaware that they stand atop a vast caldera, the remnant of eruptions so powerful they shaped landscapes and altered climates. While rumors and media reports often stoke fears of imminent catastrophe, the truth remains that Yellowstone operates on geologic time, its rhythms incomprehensible to the human experience. Yet, recent technological advances have peeled back the layers of myth and mystery, revealing a story more nuanced and perhaps more unsettling than anyone imagined. A surge of tiny earthquakes, undetectable for decades, has come to light under Yellowstone, painting a portrait of restless energy moving deep within the earth. Seismic activity, once assumed to be mild, is now understood to be much more complex, hinting at processes few comprehend. The questions swirl. Is the giant awakening? Can modern science predict what comes next? Are the legends of super-eruptions mere exaggerations? Or is there a genuine threat to life as we know it? And most crucially, even short of a super-eruption, could Yellowstone change the course of entire nations overnight? Join us as we journey into the heart of Yellowstone's hidden power, exploring the seismic revelations, uncertainty, and lingering mysteries within the greatest volcanic system in North America. What secrets are stirring beneath the surface? And is humanity truly prepared for what may come? Chapter 1. The Hidden Caldera, Anatomy of a Supervolcano. Yellowstone National Park is more than a sanctuary of wildlife and wilderness. It is a living window into Earth's most volatile forces. Stretching across northwestern Wyoming and brushing the borders of Montana and Idaho, Yellowstone's green valleys and snow-dusted peaks conceal an immense geological structure, the Yellowstone Caldera. Unlike the iconic cone-shaped volcanoes such as Mount St. Helens or Mount Fuji, Yellowstone's supervolcano reveals itself as a vast depression, spanning some 30 by 45 miles. This caldera was sculpted by colossal eruptions that shattered the landscape, with the most recent event occurring roughly 640,000 years ago. What appears now as rolling meadows and serene lakes once glowed with rivers of fire, as molten rock and ash blanketed the region. But it's not just the past that holds scientists in suspense. Deep within the earth, a seething reservoir of magma continues to simmer, held in check only by the crust above. Heat from this magma pulses upward, feeding the park's famous geysers, hot springs, and fumaroles, the visible scars of Yellowstone's barely contained energy. The eruption of Old Faithful, for all its predictability, is only a flicker of the forces at work below. The Yellowstone system stretches downward for miles, comprising sprawling magma chambers, intricate fractures, and underground rivers of superheated water. It is among the largest active volcanic systems on Earth, classified as a supervolcano for its capacity to unleash eruptions of almost unimaginable scale. Yet, as new discoveries reveal, even the absence of a cataclysmic eruption does not mean that Yellowstone is dormant. What then does it truly mean for a supervolcano to wake up? Is the threat visible only in the most massive eruptions? Or can smaller, more frequent events change the region, or the entire world, in an instant? Scientists seek these answers by plumbing the depths of Yellowstone's hidden features, searching for the telltale signs that could foretell the next chapter in its geologic saga. Chapter 2. Tremors in the Deep. Unveiling Yellowstone's Seismic Secrets. For years, the ground beneath Yellowstone's visitors appeared calm, belying the restless nature of the beast below. But change often begins in the shadows. In a groundbreaking advance, scientists equipped with sensitive seismometers and cutting-edge algorithms have recently uncovered a staggering number of tiny earthquakes, tens of thousands, reverberating quietly beneath the supervolcano. Previously undetected, these microquakes sketch a living map of fractures and fluid flows, hinting that the subterranean world is far more dynamic than once suspected. Each tremor is a message carried from the depths, a reminder that Yellowstone is in constant motion, its magma and fluids straining and pulsing with the forces of nature. This revelation has shifted our understanding of volcanic risk in the region. While older models relied on sparse, surface-level data, today's surveillance system plunges deep into the earth, offering a more detailed view. Every shudder, every whisper of seismic energy is now logged by scientists at the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory and the US Geological Survey. It was once believed that Yellowstone's most recent period of frequent seismic activity, beginning in 2018, had faded into relative quiet. Yet the discovery of thousands of microquakes stretching into the most recent years proves the story is more complex. Even in 2025, the ground is talking, and scientists are listening as never before. What does this hidden seismicity mean? In volcanic systems, increased earthquake activity can signify that magma is rising, pressure is building, or underground water is moving in new directions. While the vast majority of these quakes are too small to feel, they may be early warnings of larger changes, or they may be part of the volcano's normal cycles. Unlike major earthquakes, which rock cities and topple buildings, these subtle rumblings are the opening verses in a much longer, more mysterious song. Few dare to predict an exact schedule for Yellowstone's next eruption, but the data urges vigilance. What exactly is happening beneath Yellowstone's surface? Are these tremors heralds of approaching trouble, or are they simply the routine groans of a living Earth? Each data point, each newly mapped fracture adds to the intrigue and to the sense of responsibility on the shoulders of experts across the world. Chapter 3: False Alarms and the Power of Prediction. With each surge in seismic activity, rumors flare across social media and viral headlines. Recent reports in 2025 have spread dramatic claims. Scientists predict Yellowstone eruption for November 30th, 2025. Some sources warn that whole regions of North America, the United States, Canada, Mexico, will be transformed overnight. Panic travels faster than facts. But what does the science truly say? Here's the reality. Yellowstone is among the most closely monitored volcanic systems anywhere on Earth. Organizations like the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory deploy a powerful array of instruments, satellites tracking surface deformation, gas emissions monitors, and networks of seismic sensors mapping every tremor. Despite periods of increased activity, the consensus is clear. As of July 2025, there are no signs of impending volcanic unrest. Scientists agree that an eruption is not on the horizon. Still, this reassurance is only half the story. The new capacity to detect myriad microquakes and subtle signs of movement does not mean disaster is ruled out. Instead, it highlights how much we still do not know. Tremors may come and go without apparent consequence, or they may precede changes that no model can yet predict. Much of the anxiety stems from the fact that while super-eruptions are extraordinarily rare, Yellowstone does not need to unleash its full fury to be catastrophic. Even a moderate eruption, a surge of hot, blocky lava flooding ancient forests, or a violent steam explosion could alter landscapes, displace communities, and send clouds of ash drifting for hundreds or even thousands of miles. Technological progress has brought advances in predicting volcanic hazards, allowing for earlier warnings and better emergency planning. Yet, the power of these natural systems remains daunting. The quest continues. Can we ever forecast the exact moment when the Earth decides to unleash its fury? Or must we accept that, for all our progress, nature still holds the final card? Chapter 4: The Catastrophe That Wasn't. Super-Eruptions and Their True Threat. The word supervolcano conjures images of global catastrophe, Ash falling like snow halfway across the world, cities smothered beneath grey darkness, a volcanic winter cooling Earth's climate for years. Yellowstone's last 3 cataclysmic eruptions, each separated by hundreds of thousands of years, truly transformed continents. These prehistoric events ejected up to 240 cubic miles of material at a time, far outstripping the power of any eruption in recorded history. But the current reality is less about super-eruptions and more about the dangers posed by much smaller but still devastating volcanic events. Yellowstone does not need to produce a continent-shattering blast to rewrite the map. Even an eruption a fraction of that scale could hurl rivers of lava, choke valleys with ash, and disrupt the climate enough to affect millions. It's important to clarify, while the super-eruption scenario makes for attention-grabbing headlines, scientists see no evidence of such an event looming in the foreseeable future. Instead, the 2025 context is clear. While moderate-sized or hydrothermal eruptions are far more likely, they can still be destructive on a regional scale. A thick, slow-moving flow of hot, blocky lava could surge from underground vents, incinerating everything in its path. Even if the main explosion never materializes, hydrothermal systems, superheated by the magma below, could trigger powerful steam explosions, ejecting rocks and scalding water. The United States Geological Survey and other agencies emphasize the critical difference between fear and preparedness. Public education, robust warning systems, and international scientific collaboration form our best defense. Even the smallest shift beneath Yellowstone can have significant consequences, motivating continual research, round-the-clock monitoring, and the need for clear communication between scientists and the public. Are we truly equipped to respond? Or do the myths about supervolcanic doom distract us from genuine, more likely scenarios? Chapter 5. The Unseen Eruption. How Yellowstone could change the world overnight. If Yellowstone were to erupt, even modestly, the consequences could be far-reaching. Scientists warn that a lava flow burning at intensely high temperatures could sweep across stretches of the park, destroying forests and grassland in minutes. Ash plumes, rising miles into the atmosphere, would follow prevailing winds, potentially settling across parts of the northern and central United States, with lighter amounts even detectable in Canada and Mexico. Crops could be blanketed, power grids might falter, air travel would be disrupted, and water supplies could become contaminated with volcanic residues. It would be a disaster on a continental scale, but not necessarily the apocalyptic event of popular fiction. The most current data from 2025 shows that, while seismicity is more persistent and complex than once believed, there is still no eruption looming. Yet this knowledge is a reminder to remain vigilant, for history has shown that even moderate eruptions can quickly disrupt societies. As researchers interpret the meaning of every tremor, local authorities plan evacuation routes and emergency shelters, running drills for a day they hope will never come. Meanwhile, speculation flourishes on digital platforms. For some, the anxiety is real. If the ground opens up, what then? For others, it is a source of fascination, the ultimate unpredictability of the planet we call home. What remains undeniable is that the Yellowstone system has the power to shape, disrupt, and define entire regions. It's impossible to escape the unsettling notion that a single geologic event could ripple across societies, economies, and cultures, all in the span of a few hours or days. The truth is both humbling and sobering. The balance between Yellowstone's beauty and its danger is delicate, and humanity, for all its technologies, must remain vigilant. Chapter 6. Cracks in the Silence. The never-ending search for clues. Yellowstone's biggest secrets do not announce themselves with spectacle. Instead, they whisper through subtle signals. Fluctuations in ground temperature, slight swelling or sinking of the surface, unusual changes in the chemistry of hot springs and geysers. Each sign is scrutinized in detail by teams of volcanologists, trained to discern patterns in chaos to decode Earth's language. As of July 2025, all indicators remain stable. The The geysers erupt on schedule, wildlife still roams the plains, and the rivers flow as always. Yet beneath this calm, instruments record a continual conversation between magma, rock, and water. Advanced sensors can now track ground deformation with millimeter precision, measure tiny shifts in gas emissions, and chart the heartbeat of Yellowstone in real time. The most tantalizing discovery of recent years remains the revelation of extensive seismic networks beneath the park. The word quiet is forever redefined. The ground, in reality, is seldom still. Each newly detected earthquake, whether a shallow rumble or a deep, rolling aftershock, is carefully mapped and analyzed by scientists racing to interpret the signs. But do these faint, persistent movements indicate an awakening, or are they simply evidence of the volcano's ongoing, natural vitality? No one is certain. Though monitoring systems have become increasingly sophisticated and models continue to improve, even the best scientific tools have their limitations. Nature, at its core, resists easy answers. Only vigilance and ongoing observation can provide reassurance. Chapter 7: Advances in Prediction: The Role of Technology in Facing the Unknown. The modern era has delivered technological marvels almost as extraordinary as Yellowstone itself. Sophisticated seismic arrays now register even the faintest of quakes. Satellites provide detailed imagery of ground shifts and thermal anomalies. Laboratories decode the chemical makeup of volcanic gases with stunning accuracy. These advancements have transformed what was once guesswork into a science of probabilities. Yet, the core challenge remains: to predict the unpredictable. Scientists have become adept at detecting the early warning signs of potential activity: ground uplift, increased seismicity, anomalous gas emissions. But forecasting the exact timing and magnitude of volcanic events remains elusive. The discovery of tens of thousands of microquakes beneath Yellowstone offers hope for greater accuracy. By building detailed models of how stress and pressure move through the underground chambers, researchers inch closer to understanding the processes at work. Surveillance is relentless, with data streams feeding directly to the desks of experts at the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory and US Geological Survey. Despite this vigilance, humility dominates. The enormous size and complexity of the Yellowstone system mean that no single tool, no one study, can provide certainty. While the world watches, scientists continue their painstaking work, separating the factual from the sensational, the statistical from the speculative, all in the hope of delivering warning before Yellowstone's next move. Authors of preparedness plans, disaster simulations, and public policy are now guided by the continuous flow of new information. Communities in the potential impact zone drill on evacuation procedures, develop contingency strategies, and maintain vigilance. The lessons of previous disasters underscore the need to be ready not just for the most spectacular, but for the most likely: a moderate eruption or hydrothermal event that could catch the region off guard. Ultimately, technology offers hope in the face of uncertainty, but only if paired with clear communication, public understanding, and the will to act when warning signs arise. Will humanity rise to the occasion when the next alert comes, or will disbelief and hesitation prove our greatest weakness? Chapter 8: Living with the Giants: Humanity's Unsettling Partnership with Yellowstone. To live in the shadow of Yellowstone is to accept an odd sort of companionship, awe intermingled with apprehension. For indigenous people, early settlers, and modern scientists alike, the supervolcano is a character in its own right, a force to be respected, if not feared. Modern science has stripped away some of the superstition, revealing a system of immense complexity governed by physical laws. But in place of myth, it has delivered a different kind of humility. Yellowstone's eruptions, large or small, do not observe national borders or human timetables. They follow the ancient rhythm of Earth itself. For the 21st century, the challenge is balance. To protect the health and safety of millions without succumbing to panic. to cherish the wild wonders of the park while preparing for the day when tranquility gives way to chaos. Researchers, emergency planners, and everyday citizens all find themselves in the same position as generations before, vigilant observers on the edge of a living mystery. Every tremor, every subtle shift in the landscape prompts new questions for which there may never be clear answers. Is Yellowstone really waking up, or merely continuing its eternal cycles, vital, dynamic, and forever uncertain? As we stand atop these rolling hills and steaming valleys, the ground humming beneath our feet, we become part of a conversation that began long before our ancestors set foot in North America, and which will continue long after we are gone. The Earth endures. It breathes, it changes, and sometimes it reminds us who is truly in charge. Chapter 9. Yellowstone's Future. Expectation, Uncertainty, and the Pulse of the Earth. What then is the lesson of Yellowstone's stirring? In 2025, with new revelations of seismic restlessness and whispered warnings distributing anxiety across headlines, it is tempting to seek simple answers. Eruption or no eruption, catastrophe or calm. But Yellowstone resists such binaries. Its story is a tapestry woven from science, legend, and the raw, untamed energy beneath our feet. Even without a super-eruption, the volcano's potential for moderate or even modest events is enough to shape the fate of entire nations. Across the United States, Canada, and Mexico, communities watch and wait, buffered by technology, planning, and the hope that science can provide sufficient warning. As researchers improve their tools, uncover new patterns of seismicity, and debate what constitutes a true warning sign, the world looks on. Yellowstone remains, as ever, a symbol of both beauty and peril, a monument to the sublime unpredictability of the natural world. No matter what tomorrow brings, whether calm, crisis, or something in between, one truth stands out. The giant beneath Yellowstone is not easily tamed. Its subtle signals, heard in the roll of distant thunder, the sudden shudder of Earth, remind us that our time here is brief. To live in Yellowstone's shadow is to hold awe and caution in equal measure, to marvel at the forces that shaped continents, and to accept that, sooner or later, nature will have the final word. What are your thoughts on Yellowstone's stirring? Do you marvel at its grandeur or worry about its hidden powers? Share your questions and ideas in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more explorations of the world's most fascinating stories. In our next episode, we'll unravel the mysteries of another geological wonder. Until then, stay curious and keep listening to the stories written in stone.